The trench of the soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine, located in the Popovka direction of the Belgorod region, was detected. The fiber-optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod was activated and flew directly to the trench. As soon as the attack began, the soldiers began to flee to shelters. But the Russian fiber optic did not stop. It continued to attack both the trench and the bunker in succession. Shakhtarsk direction. Attack groups of the 430th Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 29th Guards Vostok Army blew up a Ukrainian armed forces bunker during offensive operations and hit it with TMs. One of the soldiers in the bunker decided to surrender. UAV operators of the 14th Independent Guard Special Forces Brigade of the Vostok Group, together with infantry units in the Shakhtarsk direction, destroyed the Ukrainian Baba Yaga UAV. The UAV control point was destroyed.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
Every day, there are new images from the Ukrainian positions. The artillery of the Russian armed forces is constantly shelling Ukrainian positions and trenches.
Це щось вже нормально, пізду.
Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Russian drone operators come face to face with Ukrainian armed forces soldiers. As you can see in the video, although there is a course for drones, the drone operators hit the target with nimble maneuvers. Soldiers hiding inside the building are targeted by Russian drones. Kharkiv direction. Russian VT-40 drone operators hit a pickup truck carrying personnel of the Ukrainian armed forces hard. The van lost its movement. Pickup trucks and vehicles were sent to evacuate the attacked Ukrainian personnel. But they were all hit by Russian drone attacks on the way. An armored vehicle arrived to evacuate all Ukrainian personnel, but the Russians followed the whole thing. As the soldiers were about to board the armored vehicle, another attack drone with heavy ammunition arrived and hit the armored vehicle. There were 15 Ukrainian soldiers on the scene. After the attack, the soldiers scattered in the forested areas, and this time Russian artillery opened fire. The Russian armed forces destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces position in the direction of Krasnoarmeysk. Real and transparent images from the work of the Russian artillery. Day and night, the Russians continue to fight intensively with all their forces. In the Pokrovsk direction, Russian reconnaissance operators detected the Ukrainian Armed Forces UAV control station. Russian attack drones mobilized. 3 Ukrainian drones destroyed a communications antenna and a UAV ground control station. First, the aircraft-type attack drone hit the UAV control point. Then the fiber-optic drone entered the bunker and exploded inside. Then the antennas were hit. Zaporizhia direction. Drone units of the 247th Airborne Regiment attacked the Ukrainian armored vehicle. After the attack, the crew who abandoned the armored car was pursued, and fiber-optic drone Prince Vandal of Novgorod was sent to their hideout. The bunker was hit one after another. Part of the crew hid in another basement, but it was also destroyed. The pickup truck that came to rescue the crew was also hit and destroyed. Yesterday, in the Belgorod region, the 225th Regiment of the Ukrainian Armed Forces tried to advance across the border with U.S. armored vehicles. However, Russian FPV drones and aircraft-type drones intercepted the movement of the armored vehicles. The Ukrainian column of armored vehicles did not have time to turn back and flee. The drones destroyed all armored vehicles with hard and accurate strikes. The crews of the armored vehicles could not hide from the Russian drones, even if they fled into the woods. Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian forces were trying to evacuate a Turkish-made Kirpi vehicle. Ukrainian forces wanted to rescue the vehicle, which was slightly damaged. However, Russian drone operators noticed the situation and did not allow it. The slightly damaged Turkish-made Kirpi was scrapped as a result of successive drone attacks. Now anyone who wants to can take the Kirpi from here. Dzerzhinsky direction. The first frame of the video shows a destroyed Ukrainian armored vehicle. Then the drone operator destroys the T-64BV tank of the Ukrainian armed forces as a result of attacks by fiber-optic drones. The armored vehicle of the armed forces of Ukraine is destroyed by a single hit of the Novator fiber-optic drone, Chasiv Yar. After the attack, another attack drone arrives and checks the previous attack. Realizing that the attack was successful, the operator turns and flies away. During reconnaissance, another M113 was spotted in the same area. The drone operator heads towards it. He finds the M113 and destroys it by hitting its vulnerable point. A bunker actively used by the armed forces of Ukraine was detected near Pokrovsk. The movement of personnel was monitored for some time. Then, at an appropriate time, the attack was launched. After the Russian attack drone hit the bunker, a fire broke out. The Russian fighter threw a backpack full of anti-tank mines into the building where the Ukrainian armed forces personnel were located. The building collapsed with a powerful explosion. combat work of the FPV drone operators of the assault unit of the 5th Independent Guards Tank Brigade of the Vostok Group of the Russian Armed Forces in the direction of South Donetsk. The Prince of Novgorod Vandal fiber optic drone flew over infantry whose movements were detected. The Prince of Novgorod Vandal transmits data via fiber optic cable while remaining connected to the operator, making reconnaissance and targeting resistant to electronic warfare interference. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Pokrovskoye direction. A Ukrainian armed forces tank came under heavy attack, and its crew had to abandon the tank. A personnel leaving the tank came face to face with a Russian FPV drone. An FPV operator of the 215th Reconnaissance Battalion of the 98th. An FPV operator of the 215th Reconnaissance Battalion of the 98th Guards Airborne Division of the Airborne Forces visited the construction of a new line of defense in the Konstantinovsky direction. South Donetsk direction. UAV operators of the 29th Army of the Vostok Group hit a house that the infantry decided to use as a shelter. Russian special forces have been tracking armored vehicles in the Kursk and Sumy regions, and when they see fit, attack and destroy them, regardless of whether they are moving or parked. A NATO-made Striker. APC 8x8 wheeled armored personnel carrier was destroyed. Immediately after the armored vehicle was hit, it was destroyed by a vehicle drone in a warehouse in the same area. The fiber optic FPV UAV operator of the Russian Armed Forces inspecting the Leopard 2A4 tank mock-up designed by the Ukrainian Armed Forces. A Russian soldier of the assault brigade of the 36th Army of the Vostok Group destroyed an anti-tank mine in a bunker of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. A UAV control center of the Armed Forces of Ukraine was detected near the village of Balaya Gora. The position was monitored for some time, the work was recorded, and the location of the position was recorded. Then Russian attack drones took action and first hit the control center, that is, the bunker. Then the position was completely destroyed by hitting the antennas. The following question may come to mind. Why didn't they hit the antennas first? If the antennas had been hit first, the personnel in the bunker would have realized the attack and could have quickly left the area. Write your opinion in the comments. The Russians launched a direct hit with a powerful FAB-1500 on the position they had identified. The FAB-1500 is a Russian-made 1,500-kilogram general-purpose bomb. FAB stands for High Explosive Airborne Bomb. The aircraft carrying the FAB-1500 are Russian fighter jets such as Su-24, Su-34, Su-30, Su-35, Tu-22M. Exclusive first-person footage of the liberation of the Kursk region. This battle took place near the village of Zelenyi Shliak. Crews of 2 armored vehicles of the 137th Guards Parachute and Airborne Regiment managed to drive their assault vehicles directly to the position of the armed forces of Ukraine in a wooded area, which allowed them to literally take them by storm from the wheels. On the way, the units of the armed forces of Ukraine with all their weapons tried to stop the vehicles, but without success. The paratroopers did not hesitate and completed their combat mission. Fierce counter-battles continue on the outskirts of Pokrovsk. The offensives are supported by everything that can fire both from the ground and from the air. Heavy flamethrower systems are constantly working at the demand of the infantry. MLRS are visible in the footage. The fighters arrive at the firing position at night. A few minutes later, thermobaric rocket-propelled grenade shells hit the stronghold of the armed forces of Ukraine. The battle for Pokrovsk continues.